Jonathan Whitmore was a self-made millionaire, the kind of man who seemed to have it all. A sprawling mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, and a baby daughter, Amelia, whom he adored more than anything. But wealth didn't protect him from life's tragedies. His wife, Emily, had passed away shortly after childbirth, leaving Jonathan both grieving and scrambling to balance fatherhood with running his empire. Out of desperation, he hired Grace, a black maid from the local community, to help manage the household. Grace had a warm demeanor and a quiet strength, and though Jonathan barely noticed her at first, she soon became indispensable. One evening, after a long meeting, Jonathan returned home earlier than expected. As he passed Amelia's nursery, he stopped in his tracks. Through the half-open door, he saw Grace sitting in the rocking chair, cradling his crying daughter against her chest. To his shock, she was breastfeeding Amelia. For a moment, Jonathan's world froze. His first reaction was outrage. How could she cross such a boundary without his permission? His heart pounded as a swirl of anger, confusion, and disbelief consumed him. But before he could storm in, he noticed something that softened his fury. Amelia had stopped crying. For the first time in hours, she was calm, nestled peacefully in Grace's arms. Jonathan remembered how the baby had refused formula and how he had struggled to soothe her night after night. Grace, a mother herself, had simply acted on instinct. Later, when confronted, Grace lowered her gaze, tears welling in her eyes. She explained that she hadn't meant any disrespect. Her own infant had recently been weaned, and when she heard Amelia's cries of hunger and saw her in distress, her maternal instincts took over. "I couldn't bear to see her suffer," she whispered, expecting to be fired on the spot. Jonathan stood in silence, torn between his sense of propriety and the undeniable truth before him. Grace had done what he could not. She had given his daughter comfort and nourishment when no one else could. Instead of reprimanding her, Jonathan surprised Grace with a shocking decision. He didn't dismiss her. Instead, he elevated her role. Grace was no longer just a maid. She became Amelia's full-time caretaker, someone Jonathan trusted with his most precious treasure. From that day on, their relationship transformed. Grace's compassion began to fill the void Emily had left behind, and Jonathan's respect for her deepened. In a world where people often judged by wealth, race, and class, Jonathan realized that love and care for a child transcended every barrier. Grace wasn't just an employee anymore. She was family.